Thrillers are supposed to keep you on the edge of your seat, but will reading a full week of thrillers keep me up at night, or will I get bored? Hello and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. This week, I am challenging myself to read 7 full days of thrillers. How many books will I read in that time? I don't know. I'm aiming for 3 though, which I think is pretty doable with my schedule and everything I've got going on. Let me just start by saying thrillers are not my main genre that I prefer to read. I kind of like to dabble them in here and there, but I feel like we're starting off October. We might as well just get into that spooky, creepy mood. And what better way to do that than to read some thrillers? Now, the hard part of this vlog is I do not have a set TBR. I would love to hold up a stack of books for you and say that I am definitely going to be reading certain ones or I'm picking from this stack, but I can't do that with thrillers. I am going to mood read my way through any of the thrillers I have, so whatever I feel at that moment that it's time to pick a book is the one that we're going to read. I can tell you which one we'll be starting with. It has been quite a while, and I think we're going to do a Kindle read because all I've been reading lately is physical books. And the book we're going to start with is The Last Party by A.R. Torre. What is it about, you ask? I don't know because I'm not reading the back of the book. I want to go in completely blind. I've seen some blind reactions to this, and apparently it has a killer plot twist. So we're just going to jump in and see what we think. I'm about 11% through this book, which actually isn't that far. But oh my gosh, I know not reading the back of the book shocks you, but it shocks you in the best way. We have this crazy mother. I'm only on like page 30 something. The beginning, the very, very beginning, she stands up, someone's choking and they're looking for a doctor. She says, "I'm a doctor." She saves the lady, tells the ambulance first response people that she is a neurosurgeon at some hospital. Her husband's pissed, and I'm like, why is he pissed? She just saved a lady. Turns out she's lying. She is a liar. She's not even a doctor. Then, like, we're going through a couple pages, and she's telling us about how she tells her daughter this story at 6 years old about a little bunny with his field full of carrots. And I'm thinking, oh, this is a cute story. You know, the bunny and his family have this field full of carrots. This is how they survive, how they eat. They don't have to go looking for food. And the parent bunny tells little one, don't tell anybody. You know, this is how we live. This is how we survive. Little bunny decides he's going to keep his mouth, or she's going to keep her mouth shut. She doesn't say a thing. Couple weeks go by. She decides she's going to tell her very best friend. I'm thinking Bunny tells her best friend, and now there's no more carrots to be eaten. Good moral of the story, right? No, she goes and tells this 6-year-old kid that the bunny's family gets like ripped to shreds and there's blood and guts everywhere. And I'm like, oh, you're like traumatizing the kid. And I get the moral of the story is still the same, but in such a traumatizing way. What a psycho. We're getting these little snippets of this guy in prison who supposedly or allegedly killed these 3 preteen girls at a party. I don't know if one of them was his daughter or not, but for some reason, people are obsessed with him. He's getting mail from these people, especially some of these ladies who think he's very attractive. I don't understand it. And it just so happens that this crazy mother is one of these ladies. What? And she's trying to figure out some way to get this man out of prison and imagining how grateful he's going to be to her. Ugh. So she's like, how do I do this? Well, allegedly, he killed 3 preteens at this birthday party. I just happen to have a preteen. She's about to have a birthday party. The fates have lined this up for me. It's perfect. What? That's where I'm at. I'm really hoping that she is not contemplating what I think she's contemplating. It is so upsetting. I don't know how many thriller books are making it through. That these are disturbing to me. She imagines his eyes warm with appreciation and his husky voice as he thanks her for everything she'd done to set him free. She beams at the thought. What? I'm going to continue this book, but that's only like 30 pages in. This lady's like sick. I can't believe this lady's actually contemplating doing this to her own child. I need to start reading thrillers with no children in them. All I'm saying right now, this lady's freaking nuts. I don't know what the twist is going to be in this book, but from what I'm reading right now, this lady's freaking nuts. I don't understand. Holy crap. I just read chapter 66. I have 25% of the book left. And I don't think I was ready for that. I had these theories of what I thought was going on, and I feel like they were like very minimally correct. But I didn't see this coming. I saw who the mom was to an extent and the type of person she is. I did not realize to the extent of all of it, though. Oh my gosh. I just finished The Last Party. This is literally a story about an unhinged, psychotic mother, if you can call her that. I went into this story blind and I'm so happy that I did. If you don't want to hear about it, don't listen. We're following this mother who's really kind of sick in the head. And I don't know what I expected because I did go into this book blind, but I didn't expect that. She has a really loving husband. She has this perfect daughter, very bright, does everything that she's supposed to, has a lot of friends. But there are lots of secrets on multiple sides going on here. And they all have to do with this guy that's in prison, I think it's Lee Fulcrum. And he allegedly killed 3 girls years ago. So he's serving a life sentence for allegedly doing that. All of these secrets have to do with him in some type of way. I did have some suspicions about how this book would end, and I would say I was half correct, but the other half shocked me. I didn't see some of this coming, and that is what makes the perfect thriller book, in my opinion. I like when an author can give me little tidbits and lead me to where I think the story is going to go, but still twist it on me and give me that shock and that intrigue, even though it kind of gave me the breadcrumbs of leading me somewhere. I definitely would have liked more journal entries from the daughter, because the daughter has this very mature way of thinking, and I would have loved to see more of that from her. Because we do get sprinkled journal entries from her. We get like sprinkled statements at the beginning of chapters from different people that we're kind of exposed to throughout the book. And those make it very, very interesting. Overall, this gave me exactly what I was looking for in a thriller. Short, sweet, to the point, wasn't like drawn out for a crazy long time, and still gave me plot twists that shocked me and had my jaw dropping. Perfect, perfect thriller. But it did not creep me out. It was more mystery, I would say, with a little bit of thriller thrown in my opinion, but still good. I don't know what we're going to read next, but book 1 was a success, and I'll bring you back when we pick our next one. Can you hear the crickets? I think that's what that is. Grasshoppers? I don't know. The next thriller book I picked up is The Only Survivors by Miranda. I'm actually about halfway through already. This book has really piqued my interest. I live out in the woods, by the way. There's always random sounds. I wouldn't say it is making me anxious. I don't feel very thrilled. I don't know the word I'm looking for. But I am very intrigued. In this book, we have maybe 8 or 9 survivors of something tragic that had happened when they were all younger, high school age. Their buses that they were on this field trip for went over a cliffside and like ended up in a ravine. Only so many of them survived it. So they all have this very tragic experience that has bonded them. And every year they meet up and go to this house, spend that week together so that none of them are alone. This is now 10 years in the future after that event occurred. And our FMC wasn't going to go this year, but she ends up going because one of their group tragically dies. Something weird is going on. Someone's watching them. Someone's trying to dig up information from 10 years earlier about events that happened during that traumatic, tragic accident. So I'm not really sure where we're going with this. I love survival stories, so either way, I'm enjoying it. But it is kind of creepy that someone is watching them, and it seems that like they're slowly dropping one by one a little bit. That's like the gist I'm getting here. Extremely bingeable, extremely interesting so far. And I'm really enjoying this author's writing. I've never read anything by her before. I will say it is difficult to read back-to-back thrillers. It's not usually my genre of choice. So I did take a couple days break in between the first one and this one. But I am finding some new authors that I'm enjoying reading. So we're going to continue, and hopefully this has a crazy plot twist at the end. Seems like people have been lying. There's all these flashbacks starting to come up from a different point of view of each of these people that survived. And we're slowly starting to see some things that we didn't see at the beginning. Oh my gosh. What is going on here? What? I just finished The Only Survivors, and I don't think I saw that ending coming. This was definitely a more survivor-based type of mentality, psychological, I guess, thriller. And I enjoyed this. I had so many different thoughts on who the person was going to be at the end of this, and I was wrong every step of the way. It's hard with thrillers to really go into the book without spoiling anything, and giving you kind of like a play-by-play definitely would spoil this book. At the beginning of this week, we set out to read as many thrillers as I could in 1 week. And while I definitely didn't make it through as many thrillers as I had planned, I'd originally thought we could make it through at least 3 because I am a pretty fast reader. I did end up making it through 2 though. And I think that's truly because it is a little bit difficult to read back-to-back thrillers, at least for me. As a mood reader, I just cannot stick to the same genre back-to-back. I always have to switch it up a little bit, so you know what? Actually, that's a lie. There are certain genres I could read back-to-back, fantasy being one of them, and that's usually because they're very different. So maybe just thrillers. Thrillers are my palate cleansers. The 2 books I did manage to finish, though, were The Only Survivors and The Last Party. And I actually think that worked out perfectly. These 2 thrillers gave me 2 very different experiences. On one hand, The Last Party was more of a slow burn, character-driven mystery type of thriller. Like there's really good tension and things are slowly getting unraveled as you're reading the book. And while it did keep me engaged, it did take me longer to finish because it was slower paced. On the other hand, you have The Only Survivors, which is survival-based thriller. It's extremely fast-paced, very atmospheric. And I really think the survival element is what kept me hooked, because if you watch my wrap up, I went on like a rant about survival-based books in different types of situations, and this one just pulled me in. I couldn't put it down. I always find it interesting with thrillers how they can be very different and be in the same genre. I always think of thrillers as always having to have like that same pace and kind of like a cookie cutter copy paste type of script. And then I read them and I realize that that is so far off the mark. Like with these 2, one was making you feel a little bit more claustrophobic because you're stuck in the house with this freaking crazy lady. And the other one is making you kind of anxious with this survival aspect type of thriller going on. And it was fun. It was fun seeing how wide the genre really is and that there's a lot more than just the same cookie cutter stories, which I think when I started and I was only reading Frida McFadden, I think that gave thrillers a bad name for me. So to wrap it all up, even though I was supposed to be on a thriller reading marathon this week, I think reading just the 2 of these books gave me a better perspective on thrillers. I was able to dive deeper into both of these books and really enjoy them as I was reading them instead of kind of rushing through and trying to get as many done as I could. If you have read either of these, let me know what you thought of them. I gave them probably about 4 stars, 3.75, 4-star across the board. I can in fact say none of these books kept me up all night. I was sleeping like a baby. So maybe I need to try this with horror books. Maybe that'll keep me up at night. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. And if you're new, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next one.